Here. Yo, 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 yo. Let me turn this music down. We vibing, we chilling, we chilling. I mean, we vibing, but we chilling. We chilling right now. We chilling, we chilling. Begin the week. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Is this working? Hold on. It could be a little louder. There it is. What it do, y'all? Unofficially sponsored by Puffco. Unofficially sponsored by Fair Crypto. We just doing the work. Proof of participation in the form of YouTube. If you haven't caught on to the new, if you haven't caught on to the meta, how are you participating, right? That's pretty much where we are now. Yes, sir. All right, I think the fucking spaceship is set up now. Yup, what up, y'all? This your boy Crypto Bruh, aka More World Peace, the DJ / producer, coming back again with another daily video about the Zen world and the overall crypto markets, but simply how, you know, Zen fits into everything, and continuing this research, this daily research on this brand new, I repeat, is brand new. It might be old to some people because they've been here, you know. It's like a baby, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have the baby, you've had it for 2 years. And me, I don't know, shit, I don't actually give any fucks, right? So there's gonna be a lot of people showing up right now that didn't give a fuck because they didn't know about us, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's where we are with Zen right now. There's some people who've had this baby for 2 years and they're ready to give this baby away. They're like, somebody take this baby away from me, right? And me personally, I'm nurturing what I got going on. But again, it's throwing a tantrum. So I feel like you want to give it away. You're trying to give up right now. But for those that are new, welcome. This is the Zen turn up. I don't know what you want to call it, but we're chilling today. talking about Zen, talking about the weekend and what simply happened, which is the reverse of what I thought. But again, Zen correlates with the actual crypto market. There's an actual crypto market, right? Zen I think of as like an underground project. All right, this is the mixtape. Okay, this one is where you want to be first, right? You want to hear the artist, or you want to find the hot shit first. Zen is where you want to be because it's been battle tested now. It's being battle tested and it's surviving a lot of social consensus, which is one of the most important things in crypto. People will say, hey, you need to focus on community building. I would say that's a smart idea, but community you can't always lean on. So you can have a strong community, but you might want to have a more bulletproof social consensus across the board, right? Across the overall everyone, regardless to where they are in their journey or with the token, the product. You know, everybody knows which direction we're going, or everybody knows why, either price or something that's going to affect like the future, right? Price isn't the only thing that can affect the future. Bad code could definitely fuck shit up, you know, or bad accounting, you know, product management. People mismanage their cryptos all the time. So again, in Zen, it's working on being the most decentralized token on the planet, right? It's going to zero. It's doing all this shit that we didn't want to root for, but now we got to root for them, and they make some sense. It's like you don't want to root for this type of stuff, but once it starts to happen in IRL, in real life, or IRT, in real time. How about that? What up, Tree City West? What up, Niha? What up, Zen enthusiasts? What up, Doug? Zen hitting ATL. Yeah, Zen is at Magic City right now, hitting all-time lows in the ATL. It said, peace up, all-time low down. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening. The future is Zen is OP Zen. What's up, Lou? That is the future, though. I heard Zen will have nothing to do with X1. I also heard Jack is not launching X1. Is that just FUD? What up, Doug? Yeah, I mean, that's FUD. I mean, like, that's what I mean. We're at a stage now where it's a social consensus. So there's a bunch of people who socially know the direction of Zen. And I think that's what they talk about in community building when you start a project. The hardest thing to do is get a group of people, a room of people, to all march in the same direction without telling them to do it. Right? That's, I think, what makes crypto so powerful too. That's the freedom of being a part of a project, or finding something at the bottom, or creating something. Like if you want to find the art of token distribution, right? Because distributing coins now is a sense you could do as many as you want. Like they're polarizing people to this ideology that said person only gets one token launch per lifetime, right? It's like, nah, bro, you can release as many mixtapes as you want in this lifetime. That is a fake rule. Like there's no fucking rule saying you can only do one crypto smart contract from birth to death. Like who made that motherfucking rule up? I don't know. And again, with that like ideology of you can release whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, I still think there needs to be one coin, in a sense, that is focusing on, you know, being that decentralized, immutable experience outside of the Bitcoin, you know? And it's hard to replicate that. So again, all-time lows in Zen, this is part of the distribution model. It's all working as it should go. Finally, we're looking at the daily here. Zen is sitting at a predictable zone. So we've been predicted where this was. So this is kind of funny to watch it get into this area. We predicted this a long time ago, way back. Me and Dioshlan. Oh, there he is. Satisfied now. What's up, Dioshlan? Yeah, me and Dioshlan once upon a time ago. If worlds got horrible, this is like way back. Way the fuck back, maybe somewhere back here in August or so, when things were looking bad It was like back here you could see the 99% happening, but again, I think this little correlation of sideways to where we are now, like this is where the community was being, like there's two sides of the community here. You have one side that wants to like believe what they hear, and then there's another side that's moving with the code or moving with like the consensus, like where we're all gonna end up anyways. In my opinion, you're gonna end up there. You want X1 chain, so you're gonna end up hanging out with us anyways, because once X1 is live, you know, you're gonna point to the people who are the most involved in that specific subject, because that's where you get the information first, right? Like a bunch of people are gonna show up, and then you're gonna just be in the network and know like, oh, I need to point to Crypto Bro, I need to point to Tree City West, like I need to point to Simple Waters, right? So this is all organic, and these lows are like are like setting up the stage in a sense, and it's setting up the stage for a lot of individuals. It's not just like Jack and Fair Crypto, but like there's a lot of people who are believing in this ideology that Zen could be a little bit of a better safe haven than Bitcoin, right? And this is pretty big shit to talk about, because it's like, yo, Bitcoin's the shit. And we know that. Like we talk about how the markets follow Bitcoin, right? Everything follows Bitcoin. This was predictable. We talked about this. If you're just catching up, make sure you like and subscribe, bro, because I was telling it like, yo, we could see 52,000. Now, it still looks pretty far away, 52. But we got a whole week left of June. So we'll see how nasty and gnarly it gets. But yeah, if right now it's like doing exactly what it needs to do. But yeah, if it doesn't get to 52, that's fine. It's just kind of over exaggerating this Bitcoin price for fun speculation. But I don't think it'll actually get that low unless we see a turn in the market. And a lot of people, again, they're not focused on ideology. Like they don't give a fuck like about blockchain technology, about how awesome it is. You can timestamp a moment in time and package it in a little digital box and put it in a little digital cloud that everybody can you can pull at any moment whenever you need it. It could be your own little bank in the cloud and things like that, man. A lot of cool different things you can do with crypto. But yeah, just the ideology of like ownership, it's not alive in Bitcoin right now. And that might be because it's you know, a little expensive. So if it were to retrace to a realistic price, which what I was saying before, we predicted, oh damn, this shit moving. Oh, what the fuck is going on? Hold on. Hold up. What is going on? Okay, cool. Thought my shit was off. What's up, Zen? How do you say that? Cryptid? Oh, cryptid. Yeah, Zen cryptid. Alright, cryptid. Got me crypt walking. Fuck. Alright, there we go. Shit doesn't want to. I gotta refresh this page. Something's happening on this page. But yeah, so like Bitcoin is trying to find a bottom right now. It's really overpriced right now. You know, 50K was like a modest price for Bitcoin in March. And we predicted that way back in August. So like these modest prices kind of are showing me that, at least in my opinion, there's more people in crypto than ever before. And they don't know what to fucking do right now because they're just jumping in because they know this is the next move, right? If you're in crypto, well, our like ideologies are like, or the first principles, right? The self-custodies, the ownership, you know, feeling, you know, that's moving into AI. Like own your ideas, own your artwork. You know, why not own it on chain or own it with, you know, timestamps? You know, number 3 on the Bitcoin white paper, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so Bitcoin itself is kind of going through its change of hands of people who just bought a bunch and don't know what to do with it. right? So I'm not bearish on crypto. I just think that right now there's nobody that really understands it, and it shows in Zen, because Zen is, again, it's working on being more decentralized than Bitcoin, and being, again, just a clear coin. It's a gas coin that fuels things, right? Eventually developers will start to create with Zen, and I think they'll make really cool ideas. But right now we're like in the hyperinflationary state where all of the coins are being created and dumped on the market. I don't think, actually, dumped is probably the wrong word to use here. They're being redistributed to multiple wallets. And I think this is an intelligent way and an innovative way to actually handle token distribution, because most projects, they just print the coins and then they put them on the DEX. And then it's a free-for-all, who can get there first. And then from there, you know, shit finds life, right? A project finds life, because the price dictates the life of a project, which is the stupidest thing, but it is what it is, you know? And that's why, again, we root for Zen, because Zen is becoming clear, it's becoming natural, it's becoming a Bitcoin, right? Where nothing can, you know, stop it from living the life it's gonna live, right? Like nothing can go up to Bitcoin and say, hey, you were taking away the self-custody, unless you buy your Bitcoins from BlackRock. You know, then you did that to yourself, right? You took your own self-custody out of your own free will. Like you had the free will to buy the Bitcoins from Coinbase and move them to a self-custody wallet, but you took your free will and went to Fidelity and decided to invest there because you felt as if you were more free in that centralized environment. And that's just how it's gonna be, you know? And that's why, again, it's important to have this DeFi, TradFi relationship, because it's gonna fuel the market for, you know, the businesses to come. The businesses are gonna come and land on top of these investment blah, blah, blahs, and they're gonna get their fucking Bitcoin loans and go and do digital footprint material, bow, right? And that's why, again, it's gonna be important to have an object outside of Bitcoin that promotes self-custody, that people can build on top of, that DeFi and TradFi can collaborate and create more with it, right? There's a lot of different ways to use the Zen platform to do more things, which is very slept on. But yeah, again, Zen, it's currently hyper inflating because it doesn't have developer activity. Right, so this is all should be expected, like lower prices in the hands of fucking buyers and sellers. Duh, like it should reach all-time lows for a good long while until X1 chain. Now that's what I was in denial of for Zen, right? I wanted Zen to be successful because the tokenomics are pretty awesome. Without X1 chain, you know, without a reason, just being, again, a crypto, it's one of the, in my opinion, one of the most fairly distributed ones out. Like it's hard to find a real good distribution model where there's nobody else's hands in your cookie jar. Like show me another token where someone else's hands are not in the cookie jar, and there's no roadmap. Zen has zero roadmap. There's people that want to use it to do things, but there's no roadmap. It's finished. It's 100% green check mark, immutable code. It's just mineable, which the community has to figure out what to do with the inflation until it becomes disinflationary by nature. Right? Nature being the amp going down, and once it gets to the halfway point, which should be roughly around 2026, you should see less Zen, and it will require the users to inject more capital, right? So if I'm injecting $10,000 into Zen a year, this year and then next year, once we're in 2026, I'll have to do, you know, 15, and then 27, 20, and then 28, 25, you know, and you'll have to keep increasing your capital investments into mining Zen in order to keep up with your, you know, past balances. And that's kind of why, again, the tokenomics by nature in Zen are fucking mind-blowing, because right now, in its hyper inflationary state, everybody's just printing coins. And since they're just printing coins and dumping them, right? There's other by nature forces that have stopped the creation of Zen. The other crazy nature force is the quantum gravity piece that I keep referring to, that this would be awesome for someone in that area to study, is how that is so relevant to this specific one. Like, everybody's node is on Jack, but this is like an open source project that's just about being, or having the most of it, right? Because it's gonna essentially be deflationary by nature. So like, I'm seeing the future of Zen on CBZen right now. The CBZen is the cheapest Zen, well, in parallel to Ethereum. So this is like what you have to have, in my opinion. For this study to work, you need to have Ethereum. If you don't have ETH and you have some like other ass native coin, like I've been talking about, unfortunately, I say other ass like it's like bad, but it's just what it is. Like, no other bigger party wants the Binance. No other bigger party wants the Avalanche. No other bigger party wants your Moonbeam. So you're at the mercy of their development, you know, and that isn't really free will. You know, you feel me? Like, you should be on a project like Ethereum that has a ton of developers, tons and tons of like fucking development, bro, and tons of liquidity and TLV. So it just makes more sense for a scientist. If I think you're a computer scientist if you're watching the show. So if you're a scientist out there, you might want to experiment in the cheaper environments of the most expensive layer next to Bitcoin, right? So that's why I like Zen on Coinbase and Optimism. I think that relationship of the Ethereum make these two Zens kind of point in a different direction than every other one. They're pointing specifically behind Ethereum Zen. They're right behind it. And what's really funny is you have Optimism Zen, which is like giving you a look into what the supply effect is going to be, while CB Zen is like giving you a look into what infinity looks like, right? Like, you can mint coins into infinity, but at some point, with disinflationary like factors by nature, infinity becomes it becomes a variable. It goes back to like X, well, we can actually understand this infinity in a sense. And that's where I think we are with CBZen right now. The lowest fucking gas. It's a weird one. We'll talk about it in a second. But yeah, so it's Optimism Zen. Again, it's paired in Zen with ETH. So you're getting ETH with this pair. Cheap ass gas. 187 billion in the liquidity pool. But let's look at their stats. I should have restarted my computer door. Yo, Dank with the Fizzive. Zen is for the winners. Thanks for the 5 spot, bro. And Zen is for the winners. If you're in Zen and you lose, bro, I don't even know how to explain it to you. Like, how the fuck can you lose in this? You're not thinking hard enough if you lose. And that's okay. I would say go back to Bitcoin. Go back to Ethereum, you know? Stop trying to run with the pack, because it's just not, it'd just be more productive for you to be part of the overall experience. Know Zen is there, and then come back when it's green candles. Yeah, I don't think you could be late to a green candle if you're in the know. You could be late, like 2 weeks late, but if you're here right now, there's no way Zen goes up 100% in a day and then you don't perk up. Like, I think the day that Zen really shows people what time it is, like, I think it's gonna be like 1,000%, and it's gonna fuck everybody's head up. Like, they're just gonna be spinning around like, what is going on? Like, I've never seen a coin rip like this, like 100, 100, 100, and it's just like, yeah, this shit got to catch up with itself because everybody dumped it, and it's fine. Like, it's okay. Like, it's like, yo, you're not gonna release your coin. Let everybody dump it. Let the market decide if it's the utility or if it's a piece of shit. right? That's what we're seeing, and that's why again I'm saying use optimism. And if you ain't got a bag of this, I mean I can't tell you what to do, but again I think this is a window into 2030 when Zen has no more coins, and we don't know what the world is like. You know, we don't know if what if like gas gets so cheap on Ethereum that it is like today in the next 10 years. Like what if gas on ETH does get to half a penny? Then what? How about we be like, that's why I'm being positive now about this gas conversation, because when you really think about it, why is gas a subject in creation? Like why is that something we have to create around? And why is it something that we can express we want better values from and then relapse, go back to the old, well, yeah, but it's got the biggest TDL, you feel me? It's like, stop hitting the dope. They be telling me I'm on the hopium, I be doing the research. I be on the holium. I be on that holium. Nah, but for real, like, think about that for a second. Like, yeah, take the gas out of the situation. How functional are these programs when they don't have to be restricted by that ideology? If your customer has 5 clicks, it's a video game. They got 5 clicks. That's all they can do. You got to be the most innovative in these 5 clicks. I mean, on Ethereum, it's like 2. You get 2 clicks, and you might spend, you know, $20 now at these low fees. We've been seeing the best fees on ETH mainframe. But again, that's why I'm saying, like, what does that future look like? Or, you know, is that the future for these layer 2s in Ethereum? Are they the ones that get to champion cheaper ETH and developers developing programs, you know, with that ideology? You're using Ethereum, but it's like Solana. I think that's what you're gonna hear though. Like, it's so backwards, but Solana's champion these cheaper fees with such a hard line. Again, that's what's gonna make X1 very unique, is that we're gonna have increasing fees. Unlike Solana, we'll have actual fees that go up with network traffic. So as more people are on the network doing transactions, gas does go up. Whereas on Solana, they put that load on the developers, or they put that load on the community, which I think is awesome. I think that's actually pretty cool, because it makes creation more hands-on from the core. Because you know, as a developer on Solana, you're going to need to have a priority button on your website for it to be really cool, right? People want to see that they can boost their gas, but that feature can only be offered by the developer. So I think that is cool, and I can understand how that sucks at the same time, and why an X1 chain having that classic feature will be awesome for onboarding classic users, you know, but having that cheaper fee in the beginning will help onboard, you know, newer users that don't know shit, right? They don't know anything about our shitcoin. They just heard that it goes down forever. These old ass VC narratives, y'all be insuring mad easy. LOL. I think Link is bad. Oh, you still on Linktree? You still on Link? Now everything's gonna run though. It's important to have a bag of the classics. You gotta have a classic bag of the joints, bro. You have the classic bag of joints, and then you just got your new school chips that you just throw at all the OGs. Like, look at this shit you didn't look at, right? And that's why I think like some of the biggest power players in the next bull run could be Zenians that mastered how to use every network. This is why I don't want to go into the other networks, because I have no stake in them. Like, I have no BNB, I ain't got no Avalanche. I tried. Now I ain't got shit, because none of that shit came back to me. Black hole fucking network, but whatever, you know, I'll live through it. And the same for the rest of these. I ain't got no stake in the chain, so it's not for me, right? But I do have Ethereum, and that's where my stake is. So when X1 is live, I believe anyone who is a top hodler of any of these chains will see some sort of like quantum ripple from the X1 effect, because the very beginning of the X1 effect will be where most people are, the most rewarded, right? Like in the very beginning of X1, you'll be the most rewarded. So that energy is why everyone is like, win X1, win X1, because they want that big bang energy where, again, I was saying, if we see Zen going up, it could be like this massive thing that you've never seen before. But I've seen this before. Like I've seen a coin go from nothing and be worth something, and how fast that can happen. Sometimes it happens over months, but the initial like legs where you go from one platform to the next one, like I've seen those types of steps, right? And those steps, they come very quick and people are jumping in, they don't know what's going on. And we have a lot of game players. So this is why, again, I think X1 hasn't come out, because there's a lot of people playing the game, and the game players give the runway of X1 a longer one. It's like you got to get everyone to stop playing the game in order for X1 chain to just come out, to be at the end of the tunnel. Like, gosh, now we just got to drop this shit, right? Because it's not really needed right now in the house of crypto. Like if I'm looking at all the cryptos, right? Like people are just buying whatever is being whispered in their ear. And this is why this shit's red right now. Like, I mean, we already talked about this, so like I don't give a fuck. I'm prepared for 52. Like I've already sold all my bits. I'm parachuting down right now. Even my coin 8. And I was like, see, I was telling my lady, I was like, see, this is why I sold my coin last week. I feel like everything is upside down. Everything. I was looking at Coinbase today. Thank goodness I got the fuck up out of there for a second. Just a little bit. Just took some profits. I was in some profits, so I took some more. But where's that shit at? Oh yeah. Yeah, I was able to sell this one. This Coinbase, I got out right up here, right in this little rejection, and that was kind of like my moment to be like, to get a real sense that, hey, the overall markets are bad. People are probably gonna start going back into the dollar. The dollar should start catching momentum towards the middle of the summer, and then we should see a reset, hopefully, like in August. That's just like me, like looking at everything. And I think that would be great for all the markets if we had some sort of reset before the holiday, before Q4. So then that way the hopium going into 25 is stronger than ever. Like the FOMO is going to be stupid. People have been waiting so long, and then they knew the happening was going to be trash. Then they got played. Or like, now it's like, if you wish you saw this here, well, where we are right now, you wish you would have saw this back when we seen an all-time high, because that's when it would feel the best. Like, oh, thank God it got eliminated in one day. But like the fact that it lingered, it's like a slow band-aid getting pulled off your skin, you feel me? And like now it has to go low, because it needs to just be ripped off so that everybody can recalibrate, comprehend where they want to go, and the strongest coins will survive going forward. And that's why, again, I'm bullish on everything Zen, because it's all bundled into X1 chain. Everything. So it's good to get hip to the ideology, because if you do, then like can't nobody stop you at that point. And again, if you can find yourself on one of these top leaderboards of holding Zen on a side chain, who's gonna outburn you, because they're gonna have to mint more than you've purchased. Don't go out there. This is not any sort of go buy advice. I'm not telling you to do that. Just go do some research on what I'm talking about, which is simply that you can't put in a ton of capital and expect a ton of Zen at some point. There's two factors to go into this. One of them is what we're seeing on CBZen, which is that people are staking it, which is taking it from supply. So it's causing the price to find like a real bottom in the midst like of all of this inflation. So people can't even inflate the the CBs in fast enough, and then you can't even collect. You would like, or it's like you would have to inject a way more capital into making it just to like get enough for a day's worth of giant sell, right? So the again, the disinflationary nature of supply and demand in Zen is happening on these side chains connected to ETH because it has attention from a wide range of users, and they just keep going, right? Like I got my man Fernando saying CB's in for the win. He knows what it is. I'm going to HODL and DCA beyond my grave. Yo, you got to get on the list for this. But same with OP Zen. Now, OP Zen has a catch-22. The catch-22 on OP Zen is that even though we're getting close to the 0 amp, which is on July 12th, very close, very close, very, very close. We have, 18 days again, 18 days before it's 0. But this APY for staking is still 17%. So technically, anybody who has enough OPs in to stake it is gonna be able to kind of dominate the total supply because they can produce the most Zen, right? Damn, look at that. Somebody keep staking, y'all. Y'all gotta get this shit off 666 before, and you got 18 days to get this shit out of the wrong realm. No, magic number. But yeah, so like the stakers are gonna be the ruling class for like the next 2 years because they're gonna be able to inflate the price or inflate the token, right? So that's the one catch on all of these side chains, and why again I think it's important to try to get as many as you can so that you can dominate the staking for at least 2 years, right? And that's why I'm like, yo, it's crazy that people are selling their CB Zen and not staking it because now they're essentially giving away like the points. Like you need the Zen coins as like points so you can have a massive stake, right? The more you stake with the percentage, the more coins you yield. It's not like you want to stake a bunch of little tiny ones. You want to fucking do like a giant, like, you feel me? Like it's like a pumpkin, boy. Like you want a big ass pumpkin steak. Pumpkin steak. Coming this fall. But yeah, so on CBZen, what we're seeing right now is since so many people are staking, the inflation isn't inflating fast enough, which is causing more demand on the market, which makes it so that if someone even puts in, look at this, someone spent $50, and pushed the price from 9 zeros and 17 to 9 zeros and a 20, right? People had to come in and sell it, and it's still not down to where the $50 buy was, right? So this is unique because you need to hold the coins and not redistribute them, because that's what the design is, to make it decentralized, right? It puts it on the user to accidentally decentralize the coin. Typically everybody wants to hold the coin because they're like, I want the biggest bag. But since it's fuck X1 chain, right? Since it's fuck X1, Zen crypto, we're getting like this natural moment where you as like a Zenian being here still now before all of the trust me, man. I met these dudes in real life. I'm not even trying to hype them up. Like, it's just, we're all on the same wave. Everybody wants the same goal, which is a new blockchain that promotes self-custody and allows users to have a sandbox, right, with developers. There's not many chains that give the developer and the user like a real together sandbox. It's either one or the other, and that's the beauty of crypto software wise. Like, we could really bring the user experience to the developer and vice versa, where you get a better, more intuitive opportunity to try something you've never tried before, while the developer gets actual users, and vice versa. The developer has creative ideas and has a crowd of people he can or she can deliver that to, and that's why, like, I'm like, it's crazy to me how you could not want to be top notch dog on one of these chains. You feel me? So I chose CBZen because I love the cheaper fees. It neutralizes the ideology of gas because now we're all on the same playing field, right? It's just about who can keep up with mints or who can buy and keep up with redistribution, right? Because decentralization or centralization in this aspect of Zen is really happening based on how people want to hold it because they want an advantage. They want to have more when some sort of speculative event is going to happen. X1 chain. Maybe they know a developer that's going to bring a banger to the fucking it's going to shock like all of the supply. So they're trying to buy up as much as they can so they can sell on your head because you're going to have to buy into their supply shock. There's going to be so many different actors that come in and really use the decentralized, centralized ideology to keep a thumb on top of Zen, which is dope. That's again what's going to make Zen just like Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin has the same things. You want Bitcoin to go up right now, but it's got some OGs and people with more money than you. But they thumb on top of it, saying, like, not right now. This isn't on schedule. We still on the yachts. We telling them to sell. We don't care about any ideas coming in that are good right now. You could do those on the dark market. Over there on Dex Screener. On DeFi Llama. I think that's where it's at right now though, right? Like the only things that are popping are anything that's holding down like the utility area. And it's why again I'm like, yo, once everybody comes back and the new developers show up, because they're teaching people how to code now for crypto. Like we're there, it's like being a nurse. It's like we need developers. We'll teach you how to do that shit and how to deploy. That's where we are now. And I think that's good for production to get more ideologies to people. But I think that's going to saturate the culture. And that's why, again, it's going to be important to own the right coins and see through the bullshit, see through the shit posts, and not get caught up in whatever the fuck is going to be happening as we get closer to the real bull. All right, and that's why I'm destination driven right now, bro. I'm over here. My rocket has landed on CBZen. Too much good I can talk about it. Too much good. What up, Sandman? The whole ecosystem is just bitching up. Nothing new. For real. When is Zen happening? Well, now the S curve for Zen, like the deflationary factor in Zen is based in the AMP. So, like for instance, OP Zen is disinflationary now because it's only 18 days left in the AMP, and once it goes to zero, the AMP produces only 10 Zen for every 507 days. So the only way to amplify your Zen supply is to put more amps. Now you're doing that. Like that's what the future holds, is people looking at Zen and AMP, where it's like, oh, okay, I need to add days, but the only way I can add, or it's like the only way I can add more supply is by adding more xeNFTs, right? So it's like now you need to make for real, you need to make 5 xeNFTs to have some sort of supply, or 10 xeNFTs at fucking full max VMU. You feel me? Like that's the only way you're gonna be mass producing Zen. So yeah, that's gonna be cool though. I mean I feel like again on OP Zen I expect it to keep dumping though until X1 chain. Don't get your hopes up too high on that shit. OP Zen should keep dumping until X1. Everything should keep dumping until X1 because that's just the community consensus outside of like the believers. Like if you believe in Zen, okay, I don't need to care about anything. I just consume my favorite chain Zen and I just wait for X1 to be out for everyone else, right? Or I'm just mining XENblocks. I'm just hashing solXEN with my Solana because I got it at $8. I got it at $20 and I'm just chilling, hashing that shit, getting some X1 or XN coins, right? So that's like the overall feeling and why I think these prices aren't the all-time lows, unfortunately. Like I wish more people didn't have that ideology, but that's the mass consensus. Like the overall consensus on Zen is it's a zero down coin So it should keep falling. It should keep falling. And that's a net positive though. It's netting positivity because it brings more people to the real like reason why you hold it. Right? Like I use Zen GPT all the time. That's a real reason I hold Zen. You know. I think holding or self custody is even like making XeNFTs. Like having a XeNFT creation, you know, sets in stone like some sort of random act of crypto, a rack, random act of crypto. It puts a rack in the future. Go put your racks in the future, bro. Fuck today. But yeah, that's why I could see again CBZen living a great life because it's connected to ETH. And I might be missing out like on these other ones. So let me know. You know. I mean, you're not gonna let me know though about which Zen I should get into until you know you're getting ready to pump that shit. It's like by the time I figure out like how to get on how I get the piece in, y'all gonna pump that shit out of control. There's another nugget in these prices here. So notice how like ETH is in now. It's finally creeping down, and it's getting to a zone, in my opinion, that I've been pondering on, which is what is the bottom of the whole network. We know the real bottom can be 10 zeros because even Eve Moss hasn't gone below 10 zeros, you know, and it hasn't been turned off yet. So they're still inflating and selling, and you know, people are putting Eve Moss there to sell the Zen inflation. You know, I don't know what they're doing with it. There could be a lot of different things, you know, like this could be validator ran. That's like another tinfoil hat theory I have on XEN is that it must have spawned from people who actually validate on EVM OS, which is ETHMOS, but no respect. So EVM OS. And if it is from the validators, then theoretically, this is a fucking cool ass Zen because they should keep the liquidity full because they're validators and they're getting basically EVM OS for validating the network. So why not just pair it with with XEN, and then like when X1 is real, people are gonna come here too. And if things get shifty, now this has got a light bulb, flashlight on top of it where it's got a bailout. It looks like from Fair Crypto if something were to go wrong. So it's this one's very unique in its own sense, but the special part about it again is that it's 10 zeros and it's finding a low. So let's see, did it get to 11? I gotta zoom in further. We gotta open her up even more. Damn, I'm gonna stop streaming on my Mac. We're gonna bring over the super laptop. Oh, so it looks like it did get to 11 zeros, but it got picked up. So that must be the local bottom now. And yeah, that's what I mean. Like it'll try to find, everything is gonna try to find a low, but it's there every time it goes down, it's gonna find a local bottom. So this is the 20% rule. Anytime something goes 99%, it could always pump 20%. So every local bottom is gonna be some sort of that. And then this was gonna happen. Until X1 chain, which is so weird. I'm like, why does everybody care about X1 chain? Like, what are we gonna do with it anyways? Everybody wants to wait around for it, but I don't know what anybody's gonna do with it. Just gonna stake the coins? Just another chain. Or it's gonna be like, yo, Jack, what are you gonna do with X1 chain? You know? This is gonna be funny though, but I feel like if you're in the industry and you're looking to build a nice portfolio of affiliations and networks, there might not even be a better option than Zen right now. Because again, if you influence the correct ideology on Zen, there could be a world of enterprise. Or you could take Zen and influence the masses in other ways, which are very cryptic philosophies like making NFTs, burning it for auction pools, burning it for longer staking durations, burning it for meme coins. So there's like different ways you could take the Zen, and there's different ways you can influence the Zen. And that's kind of why, again, I'm like, this is a wild, crazy social crypto. Never been seen before. Never been seen before. I mean, we've seen it before. It's called Bitcoin. Bitcoin, you can come from all walks of life, and everybody was just arms wide open. Ethereum, you needed to kind of be a like computer whiz. So that's why Zen is funny, because it's like arms wide open, but we're computer whizzes. Like, we understand you're not gonna get it, and we're here to still dunk on you while you dunk on us, so we can comprehend that, okay, this is how they understand it. Maybe we need to pivot this way so they can really see where we're trying to go with this. Be it on whatever side you want to be on. What up, Sixer? What it do, bro? Don't listen to me. I'm whining. Y'all will remain yourselves. What are we remaining? Hope all is well on the West Coast. It's hot as shit still over here on the East Coast, man. Fuck. Heat waves are different, man. Different beasts inside the motherboard. That's what I call New York City. It's the motherboard. That's why Jack Levin pulls up, because he's got to come to the motherboard. Zinsu had to come to the motherboard. X1 can't be official until both of them are here when there's a full moon. There's a full moon this past weekend, and that's why I was like, man, this is crazy. You guys are just like here, you know? But again, with this conversation I had with Jack and Zen too, like, Zen has changed everything for a lot of people who have had this theory of where crypto is going in the next 10 years. And like, our like-minded expressions all give us a different palette piece of how we believe this future could potentially look, how this utopia can be. And that's kind of why, like, it's all vibes. Like, it could be a room of 10 people, and everybody has a different but similar future of where they want the Zen to go, or where they believe this journey is going. And yeah, I think that is the power that Zen has and possesses. It's really hard to have that random act of crypto, bro. It's too easy to game the system once you learn it. But when it's random, then people could take a piece of it and do their own thing, and it could, it's a bigger experience. Like, even Bitcoin, like, people put on for Bitcoin because it's the bigger idea. It's the one everyone's gonna know about, right? So there's still this ideology of like, well, what's better than Bitcoin? What's the one that everyone should know about that is not the Bitcoin, right? Not the Nakamoto consensus, right? And that's why, again, I don't think the lane that people are painting, that we're going head to head with Solana, is the correct way to think about X1 forking Solana, with the house of tokens that are underneath that all kind of do the same expression that I'm like talking about, where each one expresses its environment and what the environment is requiring by nature, right? The P.o.P coin's gonna live in the post-chain life, you feel me? Like, CB.XEN, OP.XEN, they're gonna live in the Ethereum life, and that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? solXEN will live its life in Solana, and no one's gonna stop it from doing that, because it's immutable and it's there. It's fucking existing. Anyone can call that program ID and spin up a fund app, right? And I think that's the power of Zen. Zen brings a lot of like-minded crypto enthusiasts together to bridge ideas, and soon there will be a blockchain to test ideas, right? It's like, and this is why I'm saying again, Solana is more head-to-head to Ethereum because its hardware is gonna tell people ETH maybe has slow hardware. It's not about Ethereum's ideology or consensus, which it really is, but this fight is about hardware and why their DeFi won't be able to have as much value as hardware DeFi. Now, hardware DeFi is liquid staking. and basically more network-based staking protocols that use the stake to the network advantage, right? Protecting the network by making sure users leave a little behind, right? You actually want that. So that's a positive. And it's a positive price, right? If more coins are not on the DEX, the price goes up, even more security, economical security, blah, 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 right? So we know that Solana and Ethereum, they're really battling and duking it out. And there's no competitor for Bitcoin because everything has a fucking identity, or it's moving with a camp mission, right? Not no depth of mediocrity, not no, it's just a coin that exists, you know? None of that. And I think that's the bonus pack for X1 chain, is that when X1 is live, Zen has its utility right in your face. That's one of many. As you open Pandora's box, you learn about all the other things that you can do with the Zen coin. But again, if X1 chain is very successful, Zen should follow behind it because it's the gas coin to get into X1 without having to, again, purchase it. So if there's an arbitrage between purchasing and burning, I am sure Planet Crypto is not going to sleep on that shit. And they're going to find themselves trying to figure out how they can arb the complete network. And I think that's all part of where we are today. It's a natural based thing, because if DeFi, how do I say this? If DeFi is today's underlining statistic that people are going to use to say a chain has value, then we do need to question where the fuck the DeFi is coming from. And that's kind of why I am leaning on that. If this is a real debate, what is DeFi? Is it traditional finance, or is it hardware utility, like, you know, like we're building a city and we're gonna build the houses on top of the fucking gas and, you know, electric company, or are we gonna build it on top of VC funding? Like, we're gonna put these people in a fucking apartment complex. You feel me? Like it's one of those. It's like, which one do you want to be in, the timeshare or like the farm? I don't know. Whichever one you think. That's how I think you could get right now. Solana is still very early, so you interacting with Solana could fuck around and have a farm. But Ethereum is in that, you know, real DeFi. Like, we're all coming together to get this going, and that's great. Like, I think that's great stuff, man. I think that's one way to get a network that has a lot of TVL that people can lean on to keep showing ideas. But how long is that narrative really gonna be able to maintain TVL? Like, how long do we actually expect people to just feel like they're a part of the network and they're gonna stake, you know? Because whenever they feel like they're not, you see what's happening right now. They go and they take their value out and then they go away. Now everything has this happening. I think even if Solana, yeah, see, it's down, but it's still holding 4 bill. We'll see how far this goes down. But yeah, Solana's biggest TVL is a liquid staking DApp as well. And that's kind of why, again, it's shown me that like MEV staking is going to be huge on every chain. That is a great way to build TVL, to give people a crutch to start, again, building on top. And it's all infrastructure based. So if you put in infrastructure and you remove kind of like this traditional DeFi farming percentage concepts and you put that layer on top of the infrastructure layer, I think that is actually what crypto's been missing and why Solana is a sleeper. Like, that's one thing that Ethereum can't do right now. They can, but that's why it's really hard. I mean, gas is low now, so that's pretty cool. And we can see here is a giant gap between like liquid staking and their restaking Aragon layer. And this one got kind of hit hard because the airdrop fucked up. And I think it's kind of fucked up that like they didn't get a lot of shine because their airdrop failed. But it also shows you that the security here in liquid staking cannot come from Hopium. And that's why it's hard for me to believe in these ones. The best one here would be Rocket Pool, and it's at 4.4 billion. So we can see how saturated the VC funding is, even in liquid fucking staking. Because Rocket Pool was one of the first ones to show up and really give people ownership of staking and, you know, mining a new coin or minting a new coin that you could sell for staying, you know, staked to their protocol. So yeah, this is a really cool one. Rocket Pool, lots of crypto OGs are on this liquid staking platform. But this is the problem with Ethereum. Like, everything is so crutched up by VCs that, like, you don't even know really what's real. And that's fine, but I don't see that being the future. Like, I just see the future really being one or a couple different blockchains and operations happening on a development level. Like, you're not gonna know about it. Like, you're just using, like right now, like I'm just using DeFi Llama. I don't know the code base and shit. I don't need to know all that shit. I just need to know back, Rocket Pool, market cap, you feel me? Like, I just need to see the facts. And that's kind of why I think people will choose X1 and Solana, because the blockchains are developed to help developers show really good facts quick. And that's why people are staking there, because they are developing it. Right? So it's the same ideology. It's almost like the proof of work is putting Solana's TVL up, because as it works for those that believe in it, it's going to keep going up with them just restaking. And as others find it and VCs do eventually come over, I think it's going to be a pretty powerful layer. And X1 being a fork of Solana will give all those VC people or all those investor people something else to look at, while X1 also has Zen, right? Which will be like the underground concept to come in. Like, all these people are looking at X1 chain because this is a fork of Solana, because Solana, again, is what DeFi's been waiting for. DeFi been waiting for Solana. That's why I think it's getting hated on so hard by the Ethereum camp, because it affects network, like infrastructure. There's going to be people who turn off Ethereum and fucking move on. And that's a scarier thing than anything, right? That's why X1 is pretty dope, because it's like almost like this ideology where you add it to your network. It's like it's a cool upgrade for your network for like new attention and a new direction, right? You could get the module going for this plug and play blockchain, and who knows what can happen. I saw that Jack was going to be talking with the Aptos team about hyperstructure, so possibly including Aptos into the whole experiment as well. And Aptos makes sense. They are making languages, and I said yesterday on Simple Spaces that, like, if you're really into this development shit, you know, syntaxes is what matters and what drives development. So if there's easy syntaxes to use to develop, it could bring in a lot of curiosity. And that's where the best apps are made, is in a very curious, random scenario. It's hype, man. I don't know. I'm hyped the fuck up, but I get it. It's some nerdy bullshit. Like, fuck that, green candles. You know, we want green candles. But yeah, that's why Zen, again, it has to sell. It has to do what it's doing. All of this looks good. This is the way it should be. It can go lower if it likes. Who fucking cares? Let's look at SolXEN real quick. Oh wait, I gotta put it all together. Cause like, yeah, who fucking cares? You can go look at SolXEN. And what's crazy is again, this stuff is all building Zen to be head to head with Bitcoin. Like, it's the only competitor I can see. It's the only one. And that's why I'm like, where is the other one? Like, where's the other giant camp of people that are so into crypto that, like, it's like, yo, we got to get into the top 10. Like, I know about some other camps, you know, but I'm looking for the fair launch camp that did the groundwork and no one else owns the coins, you know, or there's no hopium speculation. Like, people keep pushing Caspa and like Internet Computer on me, and I'm like, this is such a hopium camp. There's way more hopium than Zen. They don't even have smart contracts on Caspa. Internet Computer doesn't even know how to unmarket the 400 gigabytes of storage. Now that it's like nobody wants to, like, that's not the way we're trying to develop, like, cloud-based storage. not like in the computer, you know, like not in the internet computer. Nobody wants to box in their data, if that makes any sense. Like that's like a gated community, right? If I put data in an internet computer, how does it get out of there? Right? Like how many APIs do I need to create to make this universal? Like that, I don't know. I still don't know. So that's just getting smacked up right now. RIP. See, Zen's already at all-time lows, so it doesn't really matter that we're going down. That's a given. Oh yeah, here's something I had thought of. That's such a given on Zen. The most given thing is that it's at an all-time low, and the rest of the market now is finding lows. So now Zen is everything's caught up to Zen. So everyone was complaining and bitching, saying that Zen was missing its bull market. But the bull market never started. We broke 69,000 and tapped 73,000. Bitch, that is $6,000 more than 2021 levels, bro. Like, we did not do anything spectacular. Like, spectacular would have been like 84, 96,000. Oh my God, we might see 100K, you know, like, that would have been spectacular early 2024 fireworks. So that's been delayed. That's on hold. Probably not till next year. And now everybody caught up to Zen. And all of the selling has been, it's tougher. Like, it's harder to sell now. Right? It's crazy. Like, I mean, everything is at its bottom, but nothing is at its bottom more than Zen, bro. Show me another chart as at its bottom. This shit been on its bottom. Like, this is the type of charts that everybody is looking for, bro. Like, I don't even chart. I'm not a charter. We talk blockchain relevance and why these tokens can work. But if I'm a charter and I see some shit like this, and then I come to the Crypto Bro channel and then I find out that, yeah, it's offset as fuck right now. Like, this is redistributed right now, and when it pumps again, it's gonna redistribute a ton more coins, and then it's gonna pump again, and then more people show up. It's gonna have the Doge effect. When Doge was getting off the ground, it would just pump, and then the miners would sell, and then the creative market came about, like the meme market came about, the 4chan market came about because people put risk in buying the Doge. So that's what will happen in Zen. Eventually people will put risk in buying Zen for real. They won't be crybaby Winions who put their risk in WinX1 chain. Like, that's the worst risk you could put your shit in. Like, WinX1 chain. That's the worst risk, bro. That's why you deserve a spanking right now. This mental spanking you're getting, you needed it. So just take it, endure it, and don't worry, you're gonna come out a more professional crypto user at the end of this tunnel. Because imagine hodling through this whole chart and the levels of movement, right? This is the moment. The movement's gonna be so crazy, bro. I just can't wait for people to see it. I've already seen it before, so that's why I'm really, really chill. The hardest thing for me to do was understand this part, and I've learned so much since drinking the DXN hopium and watching inflation stride on 7-day, 10-day momentum. And this was in the most hyperinflationary state. So I think that's why, again, I think what we're seeing is the social consensus in Zen building. And it took a while. It took a year, pretty much, for everyone to finally get on the same page, where it's like, oh, we've been waiting for X1 chain, but you don't need to wait for that. Like, you don't need to. Like, the Zen you have is good. And that's why another reason why the following count in Zen hasn't decreased rapidly. People are hodling the Zen that they mine rather than selling it. The selling it's happening, but it's not. It's like turnover. Like, that's why it's not dunking like this. It's not just straight falling to zero or more zeros, right? Because there's a cycle that people can take advantage of based on the daily cycle of Zen coming out, right? And that's why we're almost at a plane where the same amount of Zen comes out every day on Ethereum. And I've always been talking about that, like this July part where everybody going into the future, if Zen were to crack off, we would all have the same amounts. There's no EAA. When this was happening right here, this April moment, there was still EAA, because not everybody minted out the Zen. Like, they didn't really catch on to it. So there was like extra Zen that you could make. And I've been trying to really break this down, but it's hard unless you understand how Zen is made. So like when you make Zen, there's a G rank. So like when you make Zen, there's a G rank, globe rank. And the globe rank is determined by the amount of active users or daily users. And that's a stat they don't have here. But like however many people are creating wallets, so wallet count counts as one daily user. So if people go, and wallet count could be based on, or I shouldn't say that. VMUs are based on daily users. So one VMU is a daily user. So like if I'm a one wallet account and I make 128 VMUs, I'm essentially making 128 daily active users, right? So that's why daily users are important, because that determines the G rank. As more people join, the G rank is a natural global clock, global rank, global clock. And this right here just keeps track of how many people have come after you, right? So if you, once you make it, this is how many people came before you. Once you make a mint, it's how many people coming after you. And then once you make a mint, you want to see people come after you, because as the G rank increases, so does the Zen for all participants, right? So the ideology from Jack back in the day was that you could never be late to Zen, because even if you're early, or even if you're late, you're early, right? Because the day that you start, the only way to be late is to be the last person, right? That means one person won't make a 128 VMU after you, or they won't make a 2 VMU or 5 VMU. But as soon as they make one, you get a little bit more Zen to to offset what they're creating, so you're not left behind while minting. It's a cool little notion that they invented. But yeah, so what I'm talking about though, about this like this boom here that we saw, people were doing 7-day mints. And at the time, I wish there was a snapshot of how many users. The user count was a lot higher. I bet the user count was probably somewhere like this, like 100K or some shit. But for the sake of today, let's just see what today is. So we'll just go ahead to users. 36,000. So basically it's saying there's 36,409 VMUs made daily, right? So you can divide that up to see how many people are mining and shit like that. And then days. So let's say we want to make 7 days worth of Zen, and we'll just do the maximum. So right now in a 7-day span, you can make 32 million Zen, which is $3. But to start the mint as a xeNFT, it's going to cost you $1.2 thousand. So minting Zen makes 0 cents unless there was something you were like burning for, where that 32 million, answered, like you were making $1,000 with the 32 million Zen. So it's a really fascinating ideology. But yeah, the more users that show up, the more this looks crazy. So like, let's say I go here and I do 128, right? But then in the users, we'll just add a 0, so it 10x'd. So now I make 39. So before I had 32, I get 7 million more Zen in 7 days because the G rank 10x. So then in the G rank, we're to 10x again, right? Now I'm at 46. So I'm at I went from 32 million to 46 million, right? Same 7 days, just more users, so I get more Zen. So like that's kind of why the G rank is important, or like adding people to the network is like important for early users, because the more people that are added, the more Zen that's created while you're minting. And the only people that have ever taken advantage of this are people that were selling into the DB Zen pump, which was amazing. Uh, I think this was one of the awesome times, but they've done this multiple times, you know. And anyone could do this. I've never tried it. That's why I don't say I've done it. I just say they, because I've always wanted to do it, but I don't pay attention to it. What it would be somebody making a bot or something focused on just that ratio of Zen, like when it catches a rhythm, and then it's popping off, and you have a bot that's like making you Zen and selling it at the same time for you. See, that's an innovation that we could have, but we're just not there yet. Same here. I think this was one of those where people were overhyped up, and then the weekly inflation heads came in, and they were able to actually game the system, right? And that's why we're not seeing that right now, because Zen needs to find some sort of local bottom before people feel like it's time to make a move. Because why would you want to make a move when others are just going to sell it down? That's why this is looking like a nice little like hill slope, because no one wants to make a move. Like these trades used to be in the thousands, 10,000s. Now they're like back in the hundreds. So my ideology though on these trades is that we probably also need to see Zen get to like a two Ethereum pool or something like that, 4 Ethereum. Really get to a bottom where it's like no one is selling anymore, or tiny buys change the price. And we're seeing this on CBZen. So again, this is why I like CBZen, because I can see it in real time. At some point, gas is, because everybody is dictating movement on gas. So now that gas is low, everyone's on a universal consensus, right? Some are making it, some are not, right? So since that is happening, this is like naturally going to create a really good buyer's market for Zen, because you're gonna have people who are just selling out of behavior. It's like you know, like you're just doing something that's not natural anymore. Like everybody already stopped selling, and you're still selling, and like trying to like get the tiny bit of profit left, right? So at some point, when that individual stops, that will be the bottom, and we'll know it because tiny buys will continue to push the price, because everyone's getting the same price, right? Everyone is on the same universal plane. It doesn't matter if you got $20 then or now, like everyone's 20 is the same. Everyone's 30 is the same. And that's kind of why, again, I feel like I need to build bags before we get to the same zone. We're seeing this right now in CBZen. So in CBZen, the only people with supply are people who are minting, because you're going to come and dump it. And I'm going to be over here waiting, because I don't want to put $20 into minting Zen. Like, you know, I don't want to do that. Like, it's just not the vibes. Like, why would I do that in this cheap environment when I'm here now and I can just buy up the chart? Especially at super cheap while everybody else is dumping it. And this is the best part, right? Like, people are coming in now with $30 and it's moving the price. $50 and it's moving the price. So we're at a real natural bottom, because there's not enough dumpers coming and releasing it, and then there's not enough Ethereum for bigger bags to come and release like their CBZen at a significant loss. Like right now, someone came, I think like, well, yeah, let's see if we bump this up. So yeah, you would need to come with 30 or 3 trillion. If you came with 3 trillion, you give $700 worth of ETH. And then all you would be doing is giving people, these crazy Zenians, the most epic price. Like, you're just creating one of these candles. Like, and that's why I've been loving CBZen, because I'm like, wow, we don't know really where the inflation is, because so many people have staked out. So whatever is here, and the holders are becoming more decentralized, and then the top is becoming more decentralized, and we're all just gonna own where we are at this moment until our inflation shows up in like 400 days. So that's kind of how I'm expecting it. I'm expecting like a future where, you know, everybody's inflation shows up at the same time, and we got like a whole new paradigm thing to look at where, you know, what is the state of CBZen when all this cheap CBZen was created, you know? But in 400 days, the AMP will still be going in CBZen, so I think that kind of makes it right 17% on this AMP. So that means that like we got some time to keep our supply and just stake and just create more inflation. But to do it, you're gonna need bag, and that's kind of why again I'm like, yo, this is so crazy. So what if I wanna buy? Like, what if it's someone else who's like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just have a huge stake in CBZen, right? Because you can't go and make 7 trillion right now. To make 7 trillion CBZen, first off, you would need 493 days, because there ain't no way you're doing it in 7 days. Like, and they made the VMU count smaller over there. Now you can get away with like 115. So like, let's say we want to do 7 days. Yeah, you'd have to pump the users. You see, it's impossible. There's no way to really pump or create enough Zen to offset what's already happening. Very, very fascinating things I've never seen before in a crypto. And I've had to point my finger at what is done. Like, what did this? It's the fact that people, one, got it really, really cheap, and then they just sold it because there was nothing else to do. So since they were just selling it, it became instantly supply shocked. Where now you see here, look at the top, this is CBZen. Number one is 10% of the remaining coins for right now, right? Like, inflation will show up, but how much, like, how many people are really there is I mean, I can show you, there's not that many people still here. So this is like showing me like a new class of Zenians are gonna show up. Because we're holding it the fuck down. And that's all you need. You just need people to keep making it. And that we will never go away. And as long as, again, we have champions who are like down for fairness and understand that this is a potential opportunity to be in before Bitcoin activities, you know, on all chains, depending on whatever your favorite chain is. So that's why it's important. It's like, how many people aren't even on this list because they're staked, you know? They're just staking their CBZen. This is a Zen.pub. The chart is fake. The inflation is real. Zen.pub. See, like, look at that, man. Zen is just trying to figure itself out, but inflation is on its way, baby. You gotta hope the gas stay up. If gas stays up, maybe we can get a run in Zen. I don't know, I'm not a trader. I got my bag though. I'm minting still, so I'll forever have Zen. Forever Zen. But yeah, you can see the minting has gone down aggressively. This has like stopped the G rank from like skyrocketing. Same with the liquid supply. Like, it's not going up too aggressively. 107, 107, 107. 106. So yeah, it's like, it's finding like 1 trillion a day. And that's like pushing it. Between yesterday and today, it's actually, there was somebody must have staked or burned or something. And we went from 7.9 to 7.5. And now today we're back at 7.6. So that's what I mean. We're really at a tight range of supply right now. It's trying to find itself on both liquid and staked. And again, staked has a game theory that is going to be the most mature game theory, and it's based on supply because no one can get that. You could try it out though. You could try it out on your favorite chain because the shit is dirt cheap. And it's on other people, man. If they want to just keep selling to you for dirt cheap, you can do what I've done, which is you take $100 and you just buy or you buy $10 worth of Zen for 10 days. Just like, oh, today I'll buy $10 because it's going to keep going down. So every day you're going to average a better $10, right? So then like I'm doing this on CBZen, and that's why I'm watching the nature of how much fluctuation of coins that I'm getting, right? I'm getting like 36 billion, or what am I getting right now? I'm getting like, yeah, like $65 billion for $10 on CBZen. And you can't even make that much. Like, you spend $10 on full mints. Damn, my shit's freezing up hard. What the fuck is going on? But if you spend $10 on full mints, you're only gonna make roughly around 3. So you'll get 30. You'll get 30 billion in 400 days. But if I spend $10 right now on CBZen, I'm getting like 65. So I'm getting double the Zen because everybody's just dumping their shit. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I don't care. Fuck y'all. I'm gonna buy this shit and get my rank up, climb the leaderboard. Right now I'm at 566 billion. So I'm trying to at least get to 2 trillion. But I've been doing this DCA, so it's slowly building up. And it's harder to while out because, again, like I'm saying, like, if we're at the bottom, the bare bottom, so even putting in $30 changes the price for you. So that's why you're seeing on CBZen a lot of people do $10 buys, $3 buys, because they're just not trying to have the slippage go against them. Yeah, so this real DCA camp over here, bro. Motherfuckers is DCAing in, like $9, $5, $10, $6, right? $3, like this DCA camp. And occasionally people are coming in and buying big. I don't really know why. I think it's just, again, it's the cheap fees. Like, what is it to buy $30 when you're only spending like a half a cent on the fee? You know? You're like, fuck the slippage, I don't care. But yeah, all those tinier buys, they create these green candles. And again, let me show you here on Zen.pub. So on CBZen, we can see on our chart, I say ours because we're here together. We've been had the back in March. This is when the real cross happened. This is what I want to see happen on Zen on Ethereum. And that's why I keep saying this coin is kind of like a future coin, where you can see some mannerisms that we want to see on ETHZen to kind of confirm that it's becoming a very good decentralization tool. Right now, ETHZen, a lot of people are holding the Zen because they have a game plan where they're either going to sell it, but you really want to see people stake it, because staking means that they understand something else, in my opinion. So seeing stakers on CBZen makes me bullish because they understand that it's about being ahead of inflation. It's not about being a part of it. Being a part of it is like minting and selling, or minting and thinking minting is going to get you the maximum amount. Right? Minting takes days. So you got to have the maximum amount of days. But staking, if you have enough capital, that could literally be a couple of days. Or I shouldn't say that. Minting takes years. Staking takes days. So that's a really big jump of inflation. And it's a premium, right? Because you can't go out and just buy a bunch of Zen. You can't just, you had a chance to make it because now it's June 24th, 2024. So you've had the opportunity to make as much Zen as you could every single day up until now, not sell any of it. I mean, we'll never have that story. I don't know anybody out there. If you've held every penny and you've got the fucking wallet address to prove these proofs, I want to interview you. I need the wallet proofs though that you mined Zen and you've held it the whole time. We got to see how much you got. What up, Frosty? I'm buying more ETH Zen. Keep that alpha to yourself. They ain't listening, dank. If they were listening, they'd hodl. These plebs are selling, and if they were listening, they'd be minting. That's how I really know motherfuckers ain't around. Like, look at this. You go to the contract addresses for these things. Let's go to that one. Let's go to CBZen's contract address. Is this it right here? Okay, yeah, let's go to Zen Crypto. So you can see the activity on the contracts, and like nobody is interacting with Zen World because they're just counting it out right now, and that's fine, you know. The utility is in the fact that it's gonna stay around. Like, you can count it out, but it doesn't need you, you know. Like, that's like the most egotistical thing you could ever do in cryptocurrencies, think that a coin actually needs your participation. Like, you're just a fucking dot in the simulation. Like, you can come to life if you choose. If not, Who cares? Like, it wasn't strategized around someone who didn't decide to glow. Like, that's why I like Zen, because anybody who wants to glow, who wants to enlighten others, they have this tool now that doesn't have any ownership to anything that they can now bridge people into crypto with, just like Bitcoin. Yo, buy this. But I mean, we're not there yet, because again, we're still learning how to articulate the inflation to not make people afraid of what they're doing. Like, Zen naturally had that happen where people stopped moving or interacting with it because they didn't know what was going on, and that was a that was a positive on supply, because it didn't create a bunch of new supply while everybody was question mark. You know, so that stuff is good. But this is funny watching people do coin tools. Lots of coin tool mints are ending right now. Base, and it's kind of funny to see, because I know that they're all overpaying for their coin tools mints. That shit sucks. That shit sucks. That shit sucks. But yeah, we got this person rolling in right now. They got 60 billion Zen. They're probably gonna go dump it for their 20 bucks. And this is where I've seen this account like over and over again, on the DEX. So this right now, I know people are getting their coin tools mints, and then they're coming to the DEX, and then they're just like selling them. Never mind. This guy's doing the transfer thing too, where they're like consolidating all of their wallets into one wallet, and then they dump like 100 billion like over time. But I don't think any of this stuff matters anymore, right? I just want to see like how active the charts are. So here, let me go to this this contract address so I can show you what I mean. Because the contract addresses, they've had lulls where like no one has been interacting with these things. So this is the coin tools one. Here, let's see events. No, it's not gonna show me. Is it not gonna show me? That's whack. Damn, that's whack. It's not gonna show me the calendar, or not the calendar, but like the notes on it, where you can see basically interaction with this is pretty down. So you see here, like even here, like 8 hours ago somebody started one. 8 hours, yeah, 8 hours ago somebody started one. Right, 6 minutes ago that other wallet I just saw, they ended one. They ended two 1 hour ago. This one ended 7 hours ago, right? And then some people started some up. And I don't know why you would start up coin tools, because you're paying more for the mint than if you did a xeNFT. But you could store, I guess, more smart contracts in your wallet address than you can NFTs, and that's like a limitation on Ethereum that you learn about. How many NFTs you can store in your wallet and whatnot. So I mean, there's going to be some bonuses to trying to use it, but like you see, this person went in. Goddamn! Didn't they just finish them, and then they just started a bunch of them? Yeah, this wallet. That's cool though. Shout out to them. Get it going. Here, let me look at the xeNFT one though. The xeNFT one is like eye-opening. Go do your research. Hey man, go do your research. I reminted 44,000 VMUs last weekend. Jesus, on what chain? Was Solana devs using Zen for EVM? Nah, they're two different platforms or layers. Solana devs will use, let's just think of it as like a bridge, or like a, how do you say it? Like an adapter. Like I would keep saying, like it's just an adapter. Like X1 chain is hyper focused on developers being able to adapt to the network as fast as possible so that they can make fast innovation. You ever heard like the word fast fashion, where like you have like Fashion Nova or like H&M or like Zara, like fast fashion. Like that's what I feel like we're going for in X1 chain, and why I keep pointing to this ideology of like a fair public enterprise blockchain, like unseen before enterprise blockchain with no VC funding, yet the VCs joined because like the people were there. It's like anything in the internet, like VCs didn't start hiring TikTok creators until they needed to be in TikTok. And I think that would be the same thing in crypto. Like people won't hire Web3 marketing leads until they really need to be in Web3. And then when that comes about, you know, people are going to be shilling all kinds of products to those to those marketing leads, because that's who's going to be making the decision on what's, you know, being installed for the users, right? And that's why everyone's choosing Solana, because Solana is the decision-making program right now that everybody's saying we're going to choose that, right? They're not going to go and choose Chronos. They're going to choose Arbitrum or Stella or Cosmos or Hedera or any of these bullshit things down here. They're going to choose Solana because it's easy to buy from Coinbase and it's a talkable thing. It's everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. It's cool to own a little bit Solana. You know? I think that's why they're not tanking hella hard right now. It's a great discount. Pretty awesome shit going on. I've been in stables though for a couple days, so waiting for that bottom, that nice bottom. But yeah, so like going back to CBZen, like that's kind of why, again, I think this is gonna be well, or like it's gonna be a good idea for builders to build with it, because it's on base, which is denominated by ETH, so you're in Solidity, and it's really easy to just bridge your users to a new place. And that's kind of why, again, I think like X1 chain will have a lot of Solana development happening on that layer, because it's going to be able to power, like those developers are looking for a specific type of power. It's different than a Solidity developer. So you would almost think a Solidity developer is hyper focused on decentralized security. Like if you go into making Solana dApps and you don't have a lot of web security, you could fuck yourself. So Solidity is a good place to play with if you don't have a good web security background, because you just make the smart contract and then HTML all the buttons. So that's why I can understand why people like Solidity, because it's just very easy to use if you don't know how to web develop. But that's why I can also see a world where you get a Squarespace on Solana or like on a fast TPS chain where people now can do everything, like make a token, make a website, make a button. Like when that shit comes, like the first brand to do that shit, like the full blown make a crypto everything from the coin to the website, bro, like that's an ultimate token factory. Like a token factory, like right now, these are like baby token factories. Like make a 10, like this is Ordinals 2.0, you know? Make a 4-letter ticker and get a community behind it, right? But in Solana world, it's got a UX to it. It's got a community to it. So now it's bringing forth this idea for every blockchain. Maybe we need one of these, right? And that means the innovation of what that is going to only become better and better over time. So why wouldn't it morph into, again, like a Squarespace for dApp development? Make everything that you need in a click of a button. The AI spins up your smart contract, right? So get your fucking Zen coins, because X1's going to do all that bullshit. And they're going to come for your damn Zen, because they're going to say, oh, if I burn this, it's a ramp. I don't have to go and buy it. I just need to go get these shit coins. Oh, what? These shit coins are under, like, you know, it's going to be kind of crazy. As Zen continues to kill zeros, people will relate the other Zens to ETH Zen. Something we talked about way back in the past. But yeah, it's like, as it starts to finally gather its next community, right? Like right now we have a really solid community, but we're like starting to invite newer individuals into the community so they can, you know, get on board with our inside jokes. They can think we're funny now, right? But they're also getting, like, again, the best opportunity ever to enter. So once the new people resume and X1 is coming out again, like the green candle is going to also bring in more people. So then as those people come in and then they learn why everybody even was buying the coin to begin with, they look at X1 chain, they see that it's an AI chain as well as an infrastructure or an enterprise infrastructure layer, right? It's gonna be a blockchain, but it's really like a layer with all the ways that it's put together. But it's a blockchain, you know. But once enterprise sees like, oh wow, we can use this to our advantage, I think that's when we see all of these other Zens try to find their parity to real Zen. Because at that point, what is real Zen? Because everything lives in its own life, and why I'm preaching to the choir when I tell you like it's probably a good idea to find your favorite Zen and be in the top and become a staker, because that's basically being in the Zen infrastructure, right? You didn't have to go and get like a computer and then learn how to code. All you had to do was buy Zen at the lowest point possible and just stake it for 1,000 days or stake it for 100 days. And now you've got all the inflation for the next 100 days because no one can outstake you, right? Like that's super powerful, but you got to be like down with the camp. I get it. You got to swallow the pill and think you're sipping some Kool-Aid instead of just like being like, this is a factual win. It's just fine. I'm not even outstaking myself yet. That's why I feel like the only place I could do this ideology is an environment like CBZen. And I know you guys aren't gonna follow me, so that's why I'm talking about it. For those that care, this shit is real. No one can out fucking stake you if you get the most. They gotta reach for you forever. That's why CG's doing that shit on OPZen. Y'all gonna be running after him forever. I know he's on CBZen too. I invite him to dump his coins. He probably never will though, because he gets it. You know what I mean? Like he shows his stakes because that's the way he can be in the infrastructure without putting a lot of risk into it. You just buy a bunch of Zen coins and stake them, right? Or you mint a bunch of Zen coins and you stake them. The end. You win. It's so simple. Hard pill to swallow because you got to fucking be like, I like those X coins. But it's super simple once you do it. I'm down 80%. Love those 80%. Better fall in love with that shit. Did you stop dollar cost averaging Zen? Pretty much. Like it's like, yo, if you're down still 80%, you fucking don't know what you're doing and you need to stop. Take the burn and learn, bro. You're down bad, dog. But I'm not down bad at all in Zen. Actually, my mints were crazy profitable, and that's why I rolled them over the CBZen. Because I was like, yo, CBZen is going to be a nice environment. I started buying CBZen back here. So I bought through this top and shit. Now I'm buying these local lows. I actually caused this change of hands because I was just looking at it. And if you were around, this is when the fees were still high on base. So this is why I like CBZen again. It rocket ship because it did the old school Zen narrative. Like, oh, gas is going to be high, so no one's going to mine it, so you're going to need coins, right? But then the staking inflation came in. People who didn't, but were still really early, so then like these people who didn't want to be in were able to exit off of this liquidity, which then gave the hands back, or like the coins back to the people who really wanted them. Like in this whole area right here. So that's why I'm really, really positive on CBZen, because it's like anybody who's holding a lot of the coins, they're just giving them back to people at a fair bottom. This can keep getting more and more fair, but we need, again, more inflation to hit the chart. So we'll have to see if that happens. It's looking kind of rare over there, if you feel what I'm saying. But even the xeNFTs, I got a bunch of them. Let's go to this contract. Honestly, it's good advice to stake. I mean, staking is underrated in Zen world because nobody wants to put stake into their fucking ego. Let's be honest. I mean, that's what it is. It's like you've seen Zen a certain way, and now you have to stake it to get an advantage. Like now you have to join because you didn't get out in time. That shit hurts, you know? So I feel for the people who have to do that. But at the end of the day, if you stake it, and you have the infrastructure, you're not selling against your own will, right? right? You have free will to sell, but you're selling against your will because you know you don't have to do it, but you're just gonna do it anyways, right? And more people are getting hip now, so it's getting harder to sell because now there's so many people DCAing, right? So it's a pretty interesting thing. But yeah, looking at these base xeNFTs, look at this. What we can do is we can go to advanced settings, and then we can change the method to right now it's showing some good activity, but let's change it from this. I think this is rewards. Yeah, rewards. We want to see mints though, so claim rank. So when we look at the claim ranks though, 4 hours ago, 7 hours ago, right? I don't know if this is the same address. Maybe it is. But yeah, so like no one's making it en masse. You feel what I mean? Like this shit is a tiny dot. Like, and that's great for supply because that means that what's really out there right now is pretty much it. The next step is fucking staking, because like if this is all I can get, and knowing minting is gonna cost me 400 days worth of time, like why wouldn't I just go right now? Because who cares if it's only, you know what I mean? Like if it's $700 for 3 trillion, once you have all the 3 trillion and you're staking it, like you took all the motherfucking coins. Like no, everybody got to come after you, and like they got to run the race to get their 3 trillion. I'm not telling you what to fucking do because I need cheaper fees on this, but this is the math. Why I think the math ain't mathing anymore, and we're just like in limbo. Fun ass limbo though. I've never been in this type of crypto limbo ever. I would almost say again, every project needs to go through this. I'm sure Bitcoin went through the same limbo from 1 cent to 30 cents, then from 30 cents to $100. Like, what are we doing here, and why the fuck are we here? And eventually it just catches its own balance by nature, you know? Very natural. So again, I think most of the natural ways to interact with Zen is going to be part of infrastructure, being part of, you know, the core. One of those things being staking, one of those things being XENblocks, one of those things just being a participant in general, right? Doing doing an X1 node, you know, talking positivity on the blockchain, talking positivity on X, you know, not being afraid to say you root for Zen. I ain't never scared. I haven't changed up yet. I haven't rooted for anything else the last 2 years, bro. I'm the most pure. But it's all good. I'm okay being by myself with my friends. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, dude. There's nothing else to talk about on this Monday. This is about the time you shut the fuck up. And the people who are not leaving likes are actually listening to this alpha. Don't worry, it's only 23 of them if they're really listening in the background. And shout out to those that are listening on the flip. Man, Dink, you know they're not going to take this alpha though, bro. Everyone's too afraid. Because you're going to be, right now, to gain a position in infrastructure in Zen, you're going to be fighting inflation wall. So low key, that's what everybody's been doing. And we just never knew it. We put too much passion into this idea that it was going to go up. If right now I buy Zen knowing it's inflated. And it feels better waking up because the DCA is more in tune to my runway. But I think I was just over investing previous to now, and now, like, you know, again, Zen is forever. So now I know how much of a runway I mentally can give myself, so I don't think outside of the box. And yeah, staking is one of those, bro. I don't think people want to do it because they don't want to get out of their box yet. So fuck them. We'll have all the coins, and it's a time thing, right? So on CB Zen, this 17% is over in 57 days. So if you want to lock in, right, that's what I'm saying. Like right now, if you were super duper smart on CB Zen, you would do a motherfucking stake for you would grab the whole pot and stake it all for 1,000 days, because like it's connected to X1 chain. you have all the inflation. Like everybody will be like at your mercy, but at this moment in time, they wouldn't even know about you because they weren't here. You know, like that's what's going to be crazy about the next wave of people. They're going to have to learn that there's staking inflation and that the stakers run Zen. Right? Oh my God, who is this BitConnect dude? Oh man, that guy, he bought all the fucking Zen. He rules that bitch on a couple chains. We were able to squeeze him out some of them, but not all of them. You know what I'm saying? And the other ones, you know, everybody else, because it's gonna be many whales. It's just that I think a lot of like interpretation of where the Zen is gonna be projected on people. So wherever they are in their journey, wherever they're getting the information from, they might feel blindsided about this known info in the overall like journey, you know. And you got to get there. Like coin tools, like everybody learned all of a sudden that there was a remint button on coin tools. Like the whole tribe learned at one time. And there's a lot of other bull type shit things going on, but that's why on a developer level, you know that the game will always be played and people will always try to game it. So it's like, how well can you design something that can withstand or can play a lot of games? And that's kind of why, again, I think joining Zen is a great game to play because we're at that state where it is deflationary, where X1 chain is going to make it really deflationary. And this is the part where no one's looking and you can grab us, you know, you can grab some coins before all the eyes are on it, because the eyes on it could just be a group of 200 people who just happen to be struck by lightning of this ideology, right? It's like one buyer pushes the chart. Imagine if there's 200 positive buyers, right? We don't even really have that. See, there's only 115 market makers on the natural Zen or ETH Zen, the most natural. So that means like there's a lot of opportunity here for people to enter. And I'm gonna end it on this note because I'm just going backwards and forwards. But yeah, like we didn't miss anything. Bitcoin just broke below 60K. Like I was saying, it's going low because we're too saturated in ideology and no one gives a fuck about self-custody. So we need this. We need it to be resold. We need it to bounce around a little bit, actually. We don't need a fast recovery. We need this hoe to stay right afloat and we can keep it going after after August, you know. Again, I feel like we want to see this recovery. The most intensive place we could be, like the worst case scenario would be the September to election area, right? That could be a really bad time because if right now, if this is what they're doing, fabricating a downward momentum going into the election, that might be a positive for anybody being negative on Bitcoin. And then that positive is even worse for the price because people are sketched out because they're like, oh, I don't even know, like this candidate I'm into doesn't even fuck with crypto. You know what I mean? So you just want to protect yourself for this election. And that's why my all-time low for this particular cycle would be a $52,000 Bitcoin, but sometime in September. Like it would take us a second to get there. So right now, this all looks like it's right on schedule. And this, again, signals we were never in a bull run. If we were, that bull run happened between August and March. So yeah, you missed a bull run if you made no profit from August 23 to March 24. Like if you were fucking picking your nose, I wasn't. I was in the mix. I'm still confused on why Zen didn't pump, but I don't have to be now because I get it. We were never in a bull run. So Zen was never supposed to pump. Theoretically, I was actually supposed to dump every single time I got some Zen. Because we're not in a bull, a total or a hyper cycle for the whole network of crypto. We're like, it's still like in the learning phases. People are like learning where they want to be, where they want to go. And then eventually, like what it looks like, which will be 25, 26, people will know where they want to be for the next 10 years, where they, you know, what cryptos they want in their portfolio for 35, 36. And I think, again, Zen will be a candidate in that aspect of a very decentralized crypto coin / community that has the consensus similar to Bitcoin, where everybody knows that it has its own life. The volatility is based on something in its world. We might not know what it is, but something is there, and that's what keeps us around, because you don't want anything. You don't want a coin that has nothing, right? It's just doing anything. It's doing nothing. You want a coin that's really doing nothing, so on the chart, it's people going to buy it to do nothing as well, right? Like when people get this Zen, they're gonna either go get some X1 chain, maybe DBZen comes out with a chain, maybe I come out with a chain, you know, maybe a real celebrity uses this. There's a lot of different ways to use the Zen. And again, just like this presentation has stated, we are not in a motherfucking bull market. So you didn't miss anything, and all of crypto has now caught up to us. Now they got to deal with us, because they had all-time lows for the week. They had all-time lows for the week. Fuck it, right? It's all-time low for the weeks. Let's go to the weeks real quick. Let's just keep shitting on Bitcoin. We all learn how to adjust our DCA. Yeah, I've never really manually adjusted DCAing. With this comprehension again of like, wow, I really put too much emotional DCA into that. Like, never again will I do something like that. It's one thing to DCA, but I do think people DCA with too much emotion. Robotic DCAing is way more fun. Oscillation. But yeah, see, Bitcoin has a good, I mean, you look at the weekly and Bitcoin looks like super bad. Like, it looks like you should get out right now. If you got like 10 million in Bitcoin, why the fuck would you stay here? Like, get the fuck out of here right now, because you ain't trying to sell 10 million if it's going to touch this 200, which I doubt. Again, I think it's going to come down right into this area, right? When we look left, you can see this is where the decision making happened and why we got rejected at the 73, why we got rejected, right up here. There's a big undecided crowd here in this 50K range. And I think that's where we need to change some hands. We need some confident 50K holders that believe in Bitcoin, believe in the mission, understand decentralization, understand that decentralization is not only a meme, but it lives in the user more than it does in the token. And I think that will help push Bitcoin like to all-time highs that we've never seen before. But it really needs to get back to the basics. And ordinals will help it with its identity, right? As people build identity on Bitcoin, they will feel like they have ownership. So yeah, you're not late at all, bro. You're right on time. If you've been buying this 2024 market because you didn't get in again, and you missed the real bull, which is right here, right in October and August. If you've been following the channel, that's when we predicted this current price of Zen. So I'm still trying to put it together, like how in August we saw 7 zeros, but we didn't see the explosion. That's why I'm still not 100% that this bull run is everyone. I think this was just like a VC funded bull run for excitement. I mean, I'm pretty excited, but I would hate to be the person that doesn't know what's going on right now, and you bought all here and never sold, and now you're like deciding what to do next. You know, I would just say you missed it. You really did miss your bull run. So you might as well hodl, because it's gonna come back. You know, or again, if you have 10 million, why the fuck are you holding that? Why wouldn't you, you know, I do that with regular coins. I have $5 of a coin. I'm like, I don't want to look back and see $2. Shit. Let me get rid of this shit. And that's why I just feel like Bitcoin is going to have that cycle. Great for it, bad for those that bought the top. And again, it brings all eyes to Zen, because how low do we really go now that everybody's on the same plane? And again, your $1,000, where do you want to put it? Do you want to put it towards the Zen network, or do you want to put it towards Ethereum? Do you want to put it towards Solana? Do you want to put it towards Dog with a Hat? Like, do you want to put it towards Chainlink? Where are you putting your $1,000? That's gonna be the conversation for the next 3 fucking months, bro. July, August, September, all the YouTubers, We'll be talking about where you're putting your $1,000 for 2025. So again, I think they'll pick up Zen because there's no fucking way they don't talk about this chart. And there's no fucking way they hear the research and see it. Like, I'm showing you proofs that there's no way to actually pump supply anymore. That those days are done. Done. It's just the only way you pump a supply is if you got stake. And if you ain't got stake, shut the fuck up. If you ain't got no stake in Zen, shut the fuck up. That's all I gotta say. Catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.